1.32 million pounds. It was advised by Market Development Health Canada that once licensed, we will be larger than every other licensed producer in Canada combined. We will have the ability to import and export product to the countries which will allow it. We have a market development research team that is scouring the globe and looking at the laws for hemp and marijuana worldwide. So back to Sam's personal business, my personal business. We, as I'm sure you all know, entered a deal with Grow Life to sell 40% of our combined company called RXNB. January 3rd, we did a handshake deal. We combined our combined companies to become a Nutra and a Pharma, vertically integrated model on both ends. So RXNB sold 40% to Grow Life for $45 million worth of stock. That stock went up to almost $130 million. Grow Life had issues. We chose to pull the deal, and here we are today. So let me tell you a little bit about RXNB that a lot of people don't know and why it's material to Sen Biotech and Creative. I find that I still manage and operate my own private business and my staff, in addition to being full-time president and CEO of Creative Edge. It becomes increasingly difficult to wear two hats and to run two companies. So we've been exploring the idea of a merger and acquisition with Creative Edge, our own private companies. At the current time, we have an independent evaluation. We probably evaluated 70% of the business, and we're at $170 million right now for the value of our private companies. Let me tell you a little bit about our private companies. We've got a lot of super sleuths online that have started digging up our corporate filings around the country. They would have found, and they have found, Xena Analytics, which is our analytical chemistry lab, where we do lab testing of finished products and compounds. And these are services we sell to outside. We do in-house and sell to third parties. We have Jade Medical and Agricultural, where we do the design build workflow model of pharmaceutical, CGMP buildings, dietary GMP facilities, and lo and behold, grow ops. Okay? We have WMPG, Wellness Medical Protection Group, where we provide insurance to anti-aging clinics, and now, through our master policy, we're able to provide it to the medical marijuana space. We have Ponus International, which is our sales force that goes in and sees doctors. We have 83 weight loss clinics, HCD weight loss clinics we set up throughout the U.S. Our sales force goes in, educates the physicians on new product offerings, also goes in and develops new clinics. We have Tectine Software. Tectine Software was created and developed a master batch record software for drug and nutritional manufacturing. We've added a seed to sale component. So don't freak out now. We have a deal with Index. We've been talking to Todd, and we're still very good friends, and we're still going to test and utilize this software. We have two sites, Site 1 and Site 2.
Yes.
And we're working with Todd to make sure that every concern we have will be addressed and implemented, and we will launch this software in one of our facilities. Okay? So a lot of questions about Index. We have Creaxis branding. Creaxis branding basically goes out and builds a brand for the physicians. Let's say they want to have their own contract manufactured brand of a drug or a cream or a dietary supplement. We have in-house IT, label design, marketing, SEO, you name it, one-stop shop. We have Xena Diagnostics, which we make and sell diagnostic test kits for testosterone, which will be launched. You'll be able to buy a kit in your gym or your drugstore and check your testosterone levels. We're going to do the same for marijuana. Okay? We have Our Extra Wellness, which is our manufacturing of dietary supplements. My company is called Supplement Group. It is now Our Extra Wellness. We're going to be dietary supplement manufacturing, 50,000 square feet. We have Brooklyn Pharma, which is our distribution arm, which has distribution all over Canada and the United States for drug and dietary supplements. doing? On the nutrition side, I've been supplying every major nutrition store in Canada. We have Brooklyn Pharma. That's right, Brooklyn Pharma. We have Jade Pharmaceuticals, which is the manufacturer of pharmaceutical drugs. Okay? And lo and behold, the last one, Minerva Foundations, which is our intellectual property arm, where all the patents pending and the patents filed, trademark, copyright, are all under one roof, Minerva Foundations. Okay? So that's RxNB, and like I said, we're looking at the M&A with creative. It's getting to a point now where it makes sense. Okay? So we had some questions from shareholders regarding shares that are becoming unrestricted in the next 3 months. So there's outlandish numbers out there about the shares that are coming unrestricted. So I had my people post the numbers today. In July, August, and September of 2013, 1,185,303,532 shares became unrestricted and into the market, and they were absorbed by shareholders. In July, August, and September of this year, 360 million shares will become unrestricted. Not 1.5 billion or 800 million or whatever's out there. But now let me tell you about the trades in volume of our stock. From January 1st to December 31st, 2013, there was 28,968 trades. The volume was 5,442,228,610 shares. Okay? The dollar value was $22,238,113. So now, keep that dollar volume in mind. That's 2013, the whole year, $22 million. Okay? From January 1st, when we announced our MMPR, when it got leaked basically by Lakeshore, we had to come out and admit it, to present, to today, we have 241,962 trades, almost 10 times what they were last year from year to date right now. Our volume is 9,107,859,812 shares. Okay? That's year to date, this year. So people are concerned about 360 million shares hitting the market. We're not concerned about it affecting share price at all. Okay? The dollar volume of the trades of our stock this year traded is $543,079,802. Now, if this isn't a liquid stock, I don't know what it is. Okay? So that's addressing that issue. The next thing I wanted to address was what Health Canada is really looking for. Okay? And I've had discussions with the market development team at Health Canada who are building the MMPR in the industry in Canada. Numerous discussions with them. One as recent as a few weeks ago. Talking about what our plans are, what we're doing, what we anticipate once we become licensed. So their goal was to develop and establish a stable supply base for medical marijuana. That's the first and foremost. You have to supply the domestic market first before you can export. I've said that numerous times. Their big thing is research, education, and industry. We've committed to Health Canada as early as 6 months ago in our first discussions, if not longer, and as recent as 2 weeks ago, that we are going to partner with them to build the industry, domestic and foreign, to make Canada a leader in the supply and sale and education of medical marijuana. We're going to create an education program in Canada for physicians to reduce the dependency on Oxycontin and Percocet to give people medical marijuana. And we've committed to do research for disease states, different strain specifics research. Now in Canada right now, it's only dry marijuana. That's all that can be sold. And we'd like to band together with other LPs and future LPs to lobby the government to have different delivery mechanisms. It's very important for the patients to have access to different delivery methods. The big thing about Health Canada, they're concerned about access to medicine for the patients, security and safety. Now, I probably said 8 months ago that I see the market being 500,000 patients in 2 years, and being billions of dollars. And it's on path for that, because effectively it's de facto legalization. All you need is a script from a doctor. You don't have to prove why you need it, you just need a prescription to get it. So, very important that you have to have good production practices, basically GMP. The government's instituted GMP, which you see in pharmaceutical manufacturing facilities. I've been manufacturing dietary supplements under GMP since 2007. There's more to GMP than seed-to-sale software. Standard operating procedures and implementation of the procedures. When FDA comes in or Health Canada comes in, they grab your SOPs, is what they call them, and they ensure that you're following to every letter. And if you deviate, you're written up. It's not easy to follow. So if you came in, and we know from the dietary supplement industry when they introduced the dietary GMP, people who have been manufacturing under the old regime had an incredibly difficult time to implement GMP and the record keeping and the SOPs requirements. Most of them have been shut down today. So that being said, if you have people that are under the MMAR who have to reapply under the MMPR, they want to continue to grow. But I can assure you, 90 to 95% will bring their bad practices from the MMAR regime. Most will not survive, if they even get licensed. So I want to read something to you, which I think is very, very important for people to understand this process. And this came out of the Allard, Beamish, Herbert, Davey versus Her Majesty the Queen in the Right of Canada case, the temporary injunction that we know. It's in federal court right now. Patients of the MMAR have filed an injunction. They want to continue to be able to grow their medicine in their homes rather than buy it from commercial LPs. The likelihood of them succeeding, I believe, is very slim because of the concerns that are out there by police, fire, municipalities, and Health Canada. There's large diversion happening. So this is out of the affidavit written by Todd Kane, who's the head of market development. He's the guy who is building marijuana in Canada. And these are his words about providing applicants with ready-to-build letters upon the completion of the pay-per-review process upon request. These letters advise applicants that if they complete their site build as described in their application, if the site is verified by a pre-license inspection, and if security clearances are granted, the applicant's license can be issued. This letter is intended to provide applicants with documentation they may use to make necessary financial and other business-related arrangements. So essentially, you're approved, subject to security, which we've passed. We're waiting on inspection, and then the license. So people say, they may not get a license. Not when you spend $20 million, you're getting a license. Okay? We wouldn't build it if we didn't think you get a license. Okay? I'm going to take the second one off my phone because I didn't have access to a printer and I had to pull the court documents. This is the second part of his affidavit. And it's important that you all know this. Because if people who claim to be in marijuana business in Canada claim to be at the pre-build stage, there's no such thing as a pre-build stage. You either have a ready-build letter or you don't. Okay? Otherwise, you're applied. That's it. And there's no guarantee. Part B of his affidavit. Providing a phased licensing process. So you have an option to get a phased licensing process before licensing. If an applicant has completed the paper review and met the regulatory standards for cultivation of dried marijuana, Health Canada will inspect and license that applicant for the cultivation activity only in order to accelerate production capacity. The applicant could subsequently obtain full licensing upon meeting the further requirements of the MMPR. This means, for example, the applicants who are ready to begin cultivation, but who are not yet set up to meet the storage security requirements under the regulations, could begin to grow marijuana while continuing to complete the requirements for physical storage of dried marijuana. So you probably ask yourself, well, this guy's growing, but they don't have a vault, they don't have a fence. Well, that's how they were able to. They have a ready-to-build letter, and they've asked to be able to cultivate. We had everything done. We have a 4,000 square foot vault. It would take 10 hours to penetrate if you could make it through our outer and inner security. It's not going to happen. Okay? We know we can store hundreds of millions of dollars in marijuana in the vault. So once pre-license inspection comes, we can start growing. And we're ready to grow, I can assure you. So I thought it's very important that you all do that, and and it was clarified for you. Let me see the other questions here. And I wish you were all eating right now. You're probably starving. Zoning, okay. So let me tell you about zoning. There's people out there saying they don't have zoning, blah, blah, blah. Zoning's never been an issue. Our site, both sites, Site 1 and Site 2, are zoned agricultural. This is an agricultural product. There's no processing allowed in Canada. It's dry product. So this is just another product for a farmer. That being said, we never had zoning issues. There's no employee. You cannot say, Todd, you have a 1,000-acre farm, you only have 5 employees picking. There's no limit on the number of employees that can work on a farm. Okay, so let's get that understood. First thing. Okay. Second thing is we built 53,000 square foot building. We have the permit for that. Our application with the city, which cost almost $9,000 to send it in for zoning change, is for building 3, 4, 5, 6, and for future potential processing. Not for growing, for processing. So if we lobby the government and say we want to make CBD oil, we can't do that on the land right now. That's value added. That's why we're being proactive and applying for zoning change now. It doesn't limit us, it doesn't stop us from getting a license. Okay? And another thing that I think you should all know, the minute a company gets licensed federally, cities